in which real estate asset classes do you see valuation risk building up in the next 8 to 10 years?
Yeah, before answering this question, I want to tell you a real story. In the year 1981, your father, one of the pioneers of construction industries, built Sarita Apartments, and my father bought a flat there for 200 rupees per square feet. So today we have built a building in Banjara Hills where the going rate is 20,000 rupees per square feet. So that is the potential Hyderabad has. So 200 rupees to 20,000 rupees per square feet. That is nearly 100-fold in a span of 40 years. So let us divide the investments into 4 categories: the commercial spaces, public office spaces, and the malls and showrooms, and then retail spaces, and then we have the open plots, and then we have residential apartments, and then we have the logistic parks. So coming into the quick commerce. So coming into this commercial spaces. So as it is commercial space, there is a oversupply. So, and commercial space is also today, this work from home and hybrid models have come, and we have to see the impact of that, on the commercial spaces. Commercial spaces normally, offer a return of 7%, and suppose with 5% or 15% hike every 3 years, so there will be a capital appreciation of another 5%. So totally it will give 12%. But there are lot of commercial spaces, which are vacant. So one has to be very careful. Just buying during the construction stage, because to find a tenant will be very difficult. So I feel that the REITs has already set in. It has come in most of the states. Even here we have this REDDY and Bluestone and other REITs are there. So I think this would be a better way for an individual investor to invest, because any amount of money can be invested, just like in a share market you can invest even 1,000 rupees also. Similarly, even also here in this model, the beauty is even if 30% of the complex is vacant also, at least you will be getting some return out of it, rather than being this one. Suppose if you are an individual investor, even if you are a big investor also, if you invest and the space is vacant, then it will be very difficult. As we see, there are a lot of, except for the core areas, that is the Gachibowli and other areas. So we are seeing a lot of oversupply and a lot of unoccupied space in the peripheral areas like Narakamagoda, like Kokapet and Neopolis and other places also. And one more challenge is the obsolescence of the building, because we see in the city core areas, which are supposed to be the prime areas like Amirpet and Begumpet and other places also, now the buildings have become obsolete, and once a tenant vacates, then to get a tenant is becoming difficult. So this is where an investor has to be very cautious. He has to see a pre-tenanted space to buy, rather than investing, because we have seen in the last 5-6 years lot of investments have gone into pre-sales, and people have bought, and the buildings they're like ghost buildings which are unoccupied, and they're added to that they're paying the monthly maintenance also. So coming into this retail spaces and malls, even here, so today the return is good, because people are getting for individual showrooms they're getting around 250 rupees per square feet, and in the malls also they're getting, but there are so many places where malls have become ghost malls. So because once the tenant, the anchor tenant vacates, then to get a tenant, and other tenants are also finding it difficult to get into the footfalls. So even here, if the REITs type of model, or a developer or a holding agency is there, so who gives in the form of a shares or some sort of a thing, then it becomes easy for the individual investor, because he need not do the vetting of the title, he need not get a tenant, everything is taken care of. So that kind of a matured model should develop over the years, and if that kind of a model develops, then certainly will be there.